Okay, guys, let's make a lid. Here we go. I moved you a little closer because I realized yesterday when I was making the vessel, you guys were really far away. Still working on my locationing, but we're gonna make a lid, and the vessel was very asi- uh, asymmetrical. Which, if you've watched many of these, you know I like asymmetrical. It's my jam, but it does mean that making the lid for it was going to be, and I've already come in and done a little bit of solutioning this morning. I've also got the critters with me. I decided, since there's nobody else here right now and Jesse's out for the day also, and they were going to be lonely at the house, I brought them over. So I've got Georgie, Georgia, and Bug is here, Ladybug, and she's been biting my shoes for attention. And then Sophie, and then Shadow is out on the porch. It's so nice. I actually have the front door open. So they're having a lovely time kind of wandering around. They do wonder why I'm talking to a camera, although I talk to myself all the time. So this is not that new to them. And I talk to them. So not that new. We're gonna make the lid, but I have done some solutioning already. Since it was asymmetrical, I have taken, you guys know I hate plastic, but of course there were some leftover plastic bags from packing materials, and it was in the garbage. It was garbage plastic, and I was like, hey, wait a second. Rather than just garbage plastic, let's reuse this plastic. And so I've cut off a bit of the garbage plastic over here. This is the cauldron that we're making the lid for. I uncovered it this morning. It was covered in this plastic bag to keep it nice and malleable still. It's not even leather hard yet. Uh, and I've gently pushed this clear plastic. You can see I cut off a strip of it at the top, and I've pushed it in here where our little lip is, the little lip that we made yesterday. And what I'm going to do is take a Sharpie and I'm going to outline it. And then that's going to be what I build on. So that's how I'm going to use this. And this is still way too much clay, but this is what I'm going to use to build the lid. And then this is just extra. And so I'm just going to use this leftover plastic bag to wrap my extra in and put it over here. But that's how I decided I was going to figure out how to do this asymmetrical shape, because I was in here going, okay, how's this going to work out? And that was my decision. And all of my markers are now over here, all the Sharpies, all the markers, all that kind of stuff. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So let's do precision. Thy name is serendipity. It is not. It's precision. I'll go over that a second time just to really make sure that my lack of precision is permanent. Okay. And in general, that's the shape that we're going for. So there we go. We'll see how this works. Yet again, we're going on this adventure together. So there we go. Make sure that's nice and smooth. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to leave this over here and kind of let it dry up a little bit more, get a little more leather hard. And I am going to take about half of this because, again, that's just silly amount. Pop this in here because I want to keep some around. I've already been just working the heck out of this morning, so we are good. And yet I can't help it. You notice I'm like, I've already done this, and yet here I am continuing, and right by you. Sorry. I might need a little more. I don't want this to get too thin, but we know me. I'm a little silly. I'm like, it has to be an inch thick. Not really, but still. Rolla, rolla, rolla. And I'm not even going to put anything on this. I'm just doing a real quick even pressure. which I find really difficult. And the big thing is not to roll off on the ends, on the edges, because they'll end up too thick. They always do, or too thick. Oh my gosh, too thin. Um, so you want to end your roll just a little bit before them. The good news is I'm not sticking. Even pressure. I am, again, craptacular at that. Craptacular. What I really should be doing, because if you want even pressure, you flip the clay. You flip the clay. Okay. And if you can't tell, my idea was that I was actually going to use a knife and cut it like this. I'm not sure that that's actually what I'm going to do, but that was kind of what I was thinking about. Just making sure. One more good. Okay. Yep. Good. You know what? I don't know if I have up here, because I didn't see it yesterday. It was a really solid, like, box knife. But this should do what I need it to. But like a good box cutter would not suck up here. But you can imagine that this is not necessarily the best place for small children. Particularly unsupervised, because like you saw, I just turned around and grabbed this off of the table, and that is where it sits with other sharp objects. Right there. So they're not locked down. It's literally just on a table. So that's things to keep in mind whenever you are attending a shop. All right. I don't know if you can tell what I'm listening to. I just called to say I love you. A little Stevie Wonder action. It's a good deal. From the bottom of my heart. Not ideal. It would be a much nicer if this was a really sharp box cutter or something really sharp. But you know what? I am nothing if not capable, and artists in general are nothing if not capable of working with exactly what they have. No excuses. We just get stuff done. Not waiting around for the perfect environment, not waiting around for things to be the way they have to be. Just, okay, this is what we got. We're going to make it happen. Stars aren't going to align. Just going to make it work with what we got. That's always the funny theater, the big joke about those old theater movies. I forget the stars that were always in them now. We've got coffee cans and a barn, and then they put on a Broadway show. But it's not that far from the truth, man. You can do some amazing things with coffee cans and a barn. I should know. I mean, a park can is basically just a coffee can with a headlight in it. You can light a stage with that. You can do cool stuff with that. I know everything now is all intelligent lighting, but you can do cool stuff with non-intelligent lighting. Non-intelligent lighting and an imagination. All right. Ta-da! Follow the dotted line. Connect the dots. See, it's really like being a kid again. We're playing with Play-Doh and we're doing connect the dots. Ta-da! I can do it with this one. Yeah, I can. Never mind. Look at that. To say how much I care. Oh, that was the wrong line. That's all right. it from the bottom of my heart. All right. Look at that. That is a lid that will only fit this bowl or this cauldron in only one way. Hopefully. We'll find out. We will find out. So now let's put a little handle on it because otherwise it will never come off once it fits on. We're never getting it off again. I'm just going to put a little nubby handle on. Actually, it's going to look like a little nubby handle, but then I think it's going to be a skull. So vaguely human head shaped. Ooh. There we go. The neck will be what connects. Looking a little headish. Got a little crease in the back of his head. Looks like he's got a little butt back there. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Okay, we can smooth that over with the fingernails. Probably my fingernail that made it. Right. Let that dry a little to come in and do some more detail work. It's got a very nice little head shape happening. We can make that the knob. Yeah, knob. All right. Score the bottom of this. This is not my scoring tool. I left my little white vinegar mix here. Now I'm just switching out. I'm madness. Too many tools. Too many things to choose from. I'm just going to switch back and forth. I'm going to go nuts. Going nuts. All right. I'll just put that center-ish. Okay. a little cracky on the backy. All right, I would really need that to dry a little more so I don't just do something devastating to it. So what we can do now is go back over to this bad boy, and I got this, and I'm thinking, to go with our human head on the top of it, or alien head. It could be an alien head. It's fine. It could be whatever. But I'm thinking that we want to do some decorations, and I'm thinking maybe kind of crossbones kind of thing. Skull, crossbones. Why not? Let's go. Let's do it. So let's take this. I'm going to get about 2 equal portions ish. We know I'm not very good at that. We've watched this happen before. In fact, I can already tell that it's aren't equal. Meh. We'll go with that. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is I'm going to make 2 bones. And we're going to make crossbones. So nothing too crazy. Just the vaguest bone shape. Looking around to see if there's dogs. Their big thing is they're allowed to hang out over here with me until somebody makes an escape. Because there's a front porch, which is so nice. And it's so lovely today that the door, like I said, is open. And we've got a little gate so that they can stay on the front porch and not go for visits and not go wandering. But as soon as somebody makes an escape, they got to get back to the house. They can't be doing that. I can't do this and make sure everybody's cool. Not that they won't be cool. We're not near a road or anything, but they're my babies. All right. Assuming these are probably leg bones connected to the. There we go. So that'll be nice. That's a good length. And then we'll get the ball joint at the end, kind of balled up. Leg or arm, I guess it could be. Ball that up. And then we'll do it again. And then I'll do the little point detail. Love how I point at my joint in each of those when I put them on, right before I put them on. And then we'll detail it all up a little bit more after it gets to the leather hard stage, when it'll hold it nicely a little more. And I feel a little more comfortable working with it, again, without destruction. Yeah, different amounts. That's okay. Where is oh, there she is. The smallest. She's not the smallest. She's the Chihuahua. I was looking for Ladybug. I always act like she's the smallest, but she's a chunky monkey. She is supposed to be the smallest. Sophie is the smallest. Okay. Do 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 do. 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 Okay. Man. Starting to dry out a little bit. I need to pull the juice out. As she does not. Shameful. Let's see about something a little bit wider than the scoring tool. There we go. Get that little crease, bony bone crease. Ooh, that's a little bit big, but that's all right. That's okay. I say that a lot. Because what else are you gonna say? It's over. Nah. I give up. Nah. Nah. Ooh, that's okay. That's okay. Actually, that worked out really nicely. Ta-da. Okay. Kind of look again like snakes. Now, how much do I want that? Scoring the crap out of these. You can see I cut out a piece to stick them together. Didn't really have to do that, I guess. I could have pushed them together or something, but I don't know. I wanted to see how that would work. It seemed like it made more sense and would look better in the end. I got the patience of 2-year-old. They smell like vinegar. Gently but firmly pushing this to the front. Almost weighted? Nah, not really. I was gonna say almost weighted until it was too hard, but I didn't because I kept it covered last night, and it's really not even close to being too hard. And I really should have scored the item itself. So that's another do as I say, not as I do. But it's still so I can feel it, and I mean it's still so malleable. It's not going to be a problem. But really, you really should go ahead and score the product, the thing you're sticking it to as well. So again, that's a do as I say, not as I do moment. Sorry. You really, really, really should have scored it as well, and I just didn't because I'm not teaching really. I'm just talking whilst I'm doing a personal project, which is pretty different experience all in all. Make sure those two, there we go. Squishy, 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 squishy. Squishing the ends kind of back together so it looks more like a bone. Making sure there's some good definition. You guys can't quite see it that well because I don't have like an over the shoulder. Maybe I should just get a camera attached to my head. Oh man, then you'd see all the times that I hit this with my fingernails. And now I'm just kind of pinching and smoothing, making sure that it's compressed everywhere really well. No little surprise air pockets. That all of the bone is relatively straight. We got a little crack attack trying to happen there, which I'm also going to fill in. I don't like crack attacks. We don't want that. No crack attacks. And I'm just making sure to smoother, which again is one of the things my fingernails are quite good for, because I am just using my fingernails for this. Of course, then I stubbed the crap out of it with my fingernail. So there's that. Somebody's thinking about barking. Got a roof. Just barf. I love the barf. I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure if I'm committed to it. Pre-bark bark. Thinking about it. Trying to get in here and open up some clay filled in without scraping the pot. There we go. I got it. I get a little smoothnation. Georgia's sitting here at my feet. Like she needs something. What do you need, Georgia? You don't need anything. I don't know. I need bacon. Yeah. I wish you could hear her. She's making these little grunt noises like a pig. Georgia, what are you doing? Seriously? I love you. Oh, mom. Do you want an adoring what? Heard somebody else come over. Is that Shadow coming? Oh, it's Ladybug, of course. The bug must be involved in everything. Ridiculous. Old Georgia and Ladybug have some children's books written about them that I wrote before The Storykeeper's Daughter was finished, not before The Storykeeper's Daughter. And before The Hollow Tales was finished, while I was waiting, I'm still waiting on those to get actually to go through publishing. I have no patience, but they're written. They're just waiting. But there's two that are about Georgie and Bug out there that are big feelings with big friends that are all about emotional regulation and dealing with overwhelming circumstances for little kids. Georgie and Bug on the farm, because a farm is a really good place to. Oh, sorry, microphone. A farm is a really good place to talk about big things. So I used here and Georgie and Bug and their interactions because they're such a cute duo. Oh, God, ridiculous to talk about emotional regulation for small children because it seemed like a good way to explore that. And it talks about the two that are out, I think, are about there's the big red barn and dealing with fear and new environments and investigating before making judgments. And then there's the sparkling pond and very similar again, just really not leading with fear and in Ladybug's case with barking and aggression, and instead reflecting and investigating and those kind of things. And as you can imagine, I mean, here just gives endless. At some point, there's going to be a Georgie and Bug and the tree line because I want to look at once you do get confident in your environment, when you maybe get too confident, because Bug will certainly and too confident. You know, I'm a better writer than I am. I don't want to say better writer than speaker, but I'm certainly haven't practiced this conversation that I'm having right now. Um, and this isn't a conversation because it's one-sided. So duh. But you know, the idea of you know, I just observed so many times Ladybug will go out and be all cocky because she thinks Bug and Shadow are there with her, and then she realizes she's alone, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And she takes off running back to the house, um, and just exploring that sensible bravery and sensible courage and what that looks like for children to explore the world around them as they grow up, but still know what safety looks like. And then all the other fun things and funny things that are on a farm. Like one of the things I was thinking of this morning would be a Georgian Bug and the slimy cabbage. Because one, hysterical, and two, you know, it's a sensory. It's great for sensory perception, and Bug has some opinions on slugs. She's got some opinions about slugs because of their texture and the way they look and the way they behave. And it would be a really fun way to explore sensory perception and the way that you interact with your environment in a children's book. So anyway, so those are the Georgie and Bug books, and that's the real Georgie and Bug there. I don't even remember how we got off on that, other than I guess maybe it's just the fact that they're up here. Um, but they're cutie pies, and their relationship is hilarious. And the books are pure fiction because they portray Georgia as Georgie in the books, or Georgie and Bug, but her name is Georgia. We call her Georgie all the time. But they portray Georgie as wise and advice giving, and the one who really helps Bug center herself and emotionally regulate and all of that kind of stuff, which is great for the books. I mean, it's super sweet, but no, that is not Georgia. I wish it was. And she does, I guess that's not true. She does help Bug find her safe space for sure. But Georgie is trouble in the best way possible. She is not going to help anybody stay out of trouble. That is not Bug. That is not Georgie's bag. Georgie is not going to help Bug stay out of trouble. So that part of the book is pure fiction, but it's wonderful fiction. All right, I'm making sure that these are attached nicely. But still have a good outline to them, so they pop. Pop, pop. Communicating. Show. All right, I think we're gonna walk away, girl. Walk away. I really want to smooth out this one piece. It's really hard to get to. And I think I'm going to keep messing up if I keep trying until this gets harder. And I'm going to keep trying anyway because yeah. Yeah. Okay, I can deal with that. Okay. Still not gonna work for me yet. Oh, come on. Well, that's not that bad. I thought I had a hairline crack going here, and I was like, how did that happen? Oh my God. It would appear to be a dog fur. It'll burn out. Just one. But it's not a crack. That's important. I'd rather have a dog fur than a crack. And it would appear to be shadow. I think that's shadow. Which is a little odd, but not that odd. They live here on the grounds. They're here all the time, everywhere. They don't come up here very often. Mostly because they get bored. Honestly, they look kind of bored right now, except for Sophie. She just wants to be near people. That's all she wants in life. But the others get bored. You can just tell they're like, there's nothing going on. It's not interesting up there. What do? You just stand. You just stand. I'm like, yeah, you're the one who wanted to come up here, dude. What did you think I did? And then they get annoyed with me. But right now they're fine. Okay, so let me see if I can give this a gentle turning. There you go. So some skull and crossbones. I turned the skull here, this head towards me, so that I can get down here. Oh man. And look at doing some eyeballs. I don't know why I needed to spin that. It made me feel better. That's why. And that is enough of a reason. What big eyes you have. You got some big ones. Oh, got a little bobblehead happening there. Just digging the eyes out. Sounds awful. Now I'm working on the nose. Got to kind of shave off. Of course, there's some extra that ends up on the outside here. Oh, sorry. And I want to carefully get rid of it. All right, and now one eye just doesn't quite look right. There we go. At least a little better. It's a lot better. Okay. Mouth. I can make his mouth closed. Yeah. Oh, that could have been worse. Ooh, that was worse. That was worse. That was worse. Okay. I kind of ripped his cheek out, but I got it back. It was unfortunate. Sorry, dude. Sorry. Yeah, I know. I didn't mean to. And I ripped the other cheek out. It's okay. I got this. Let's patch that one up. Patch it up, patch it up. Got a very Joker thing happening right now. Unintentionally, I might add. Tony Braxton is singing Never Breathe Again. And, you know, this guy will never breathe again. He will not. That nose. Why is the nose so big? It's going to stay that way. You know what? I don't hate it. Actually, he's creeptastic. Actually, it's really creepy. I don't like him. Heck yeah. Obviously, things are a little creepy, dude. I'm sure that's nice and flat. Oh, this guy's going to be fun to glaze. All right. Little creeptastic there. Dry. And when he gets a little harder, I'll pick him up and put him in here and see if there needs to be any trimming done before he's fired to make sure the lid fits really well. And we'll see how well that little lid plan actually worked out. Okay. That's the, I don't like that right there. Got it. There we go. Finally. All right. So let's let them do their thing. I mean, I'm going to move this over here first, and then I'll smack attack it one more time here. There we go. And I will move on to some other projects after jam into some Earth, Wind, and Fire. But then I will move on to some other projects. And I will show you all that as it gets a little closer to dry and finished. And we'll experiment to see if the lid actually goes on. And you know what? I realize you're kind of far away as I walk around here and see the camera. And so I'll do my usual fly in with you here real quick. Let's do that so that you can see a quick close up That's me dragging the camera a little, or the computer a little closer, so that now I can drag the camera a little closer and give you an idea of what it is that we've done at a little bit closer angle here. Just a little bit. It's not going to give you anything too crazy, but kind of like some of the cleaning I was doing. So, woohoo! There we go. So there's your little dude that we just finished. So I got real close. Look at him. He's pretty creepy. He's creepy. And then that's the skull and crossbones that I just finished, or the crossbones. So that's where we're waiting to dry, and then see if everything fits. So stand by, and we'll play around and hope for the very best, and see if my whole plastic reuse template was a win or a complete fail. But frankly, I think it's going to be a win. It's going to be a win. And today is going to be a win for you.